So what is that conversation? When we're talking about the problems in the black community, what is the conversation? Is it our lack of identity, not understanding who we are, or what we are, or why we are? Is it the trauma that we have faced, whether it be through the systems of this country or our own family trauma as a result of the systems of this country and our own choices? I will say a lot of it is our own choices, right? Uh, is it, you know what I'm saying, the constant gangs that have been torn down or taken away when we do try to address our issues in our community? Like, it's so many ways that you can frame this conversation. Are we saying that when black people have an inherent uh mindset of violence or mindset of whatever it is? Or like, what is it? Like, I think that when we ask these questions or to make statements like this, a lot of times this gets framed to put black people in the light of the inherently violent class of people, the inherently savage group of people. And honestly, that's always a detrimental conversation. That's racist in so many words. Now, this is a black woman that says this too, so I'm not saying that that's what her intent for making this comment was. But my thing is that you're ready to have a conversation. I'm willing to have a conversation with you. I think there's many of black people who are willing to have whatever conversation you want to have. Just state what you think the problem in the black community is. Instead of saying there's a real problem that we're not ready to have a conversation about, which to me feels like a dog whistle for these niggas is violent. Look at that, the usual suspect type shit. That doesn't work when it comes to actually addressing issues. What that does is dehumanize a group of people that you can then turn around and say, let's lock their ass up, let's kill them, let's do whatever we can, subjugate them to make sure that they know their place as the violent subgroup of society. Meanwhile, that the violent criminals in our community probably, but at the end of the day, a small percentage. Let's just say at the most, it's what, 30% of our community. At the least, it's probably like 5 or some percent of our community, right? So either way it go, I don't think you have a right to judge a community by even 30%. Let's just say it was 50% of the community. Do you have a right to judge a community by 50% of their population? See, me, I'm a guy like, as much as I hate racists and I hate racist ideology, I don't hate white people. I don't sit around like all white people are racist or all white people this, that, and the third, because I know that they're tools of a system. So I don't sit here and say white people are to blame for anything. I do criticize whiteness just like I criticize blackness. Well, that's because these things are concepts. These are not realities that we living in. We're living in a concept of what black is, a concept of what white is. I don't fit the conventional stereotype of blackness all the way fully. I mean, there's some stuff about me that does hit the nail on the head when it comes to blackness, or at least what they perceive blackness to be. But I'm not a full embodiment of blackness, just like most people are not a full embodiment of whatever they say their race is. But yet we live in a world where we'll see somebody's skin color and instantly have all these thoughts of who they are, what they would do, if they're racist or not, if they're a gangster or not, or a hood or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And this is the problem in these conversations. I think people are not ready to have a conversation that's geared toward demonizing a whole group of people, because we don't do that to the Jews. We don't do that to the whites. it might be some people online, some cringe subgroup of people online that'll talk about how white people are this, that, and the third. But that's the same with white people. They sit there, got their own subgroup of people that talk about how black people are this, that, and the third. And I think we have to stop these conversations. Those are the conversations that I think people are not ready to have. They're not ready to sit here and go on. And that's not saying that this sister was trying to make this like that. But when I see this comment, this is what I think. This is taken away from the actual conversation of how can a parent kill their fucking kids, bro? Whether they're black, whether they're white, whether they're whatever. This is a parent that killed his kids. That's the conversation. This is something that happens in all race groups. It's something that happens whether it's poor, whether it's rich, middle class. This crosses all class lines. This is something that is a sickness, that is a product of, I don't know, mental illness, the struggles of, you know what I'm saying, trying to maintain a society. I don't know. Maybe it is some class issue, maybe in this one, because he was overwhelmed with child support and other different things like that. But what's not the issue is his race. What's not the issue is him being having this innate relationship with violence or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? This man was an Army vet. Which I stated myself, what's going on in the military to where so many people in the military that end up coming out and flashing out on the rest of society after they leave the military. And I'm not saying it happens, it's not a majority of motherfucking military people, but it's enough of these cases where former military decide to commit a terrorist attack or commit a mass shooting or do some kind of public going postal moment that maybe we should address those things. You know what I'm saying? Because since we want to, you know what I'm saying, demonize a whole community, black people, for the small sector group that's out there doing hood shit, or the teenagers that's taking over whatever, they say, taking over the park, taking over the downtowns and shit, right? We want to demonize all black people for shit that small group of us doing. Well, why are we demonizing the military for what they small group of military extremists are doing? Or why are we not demonizing all white people for the small percentage of racist-ass rednecks that are destroying this fucking country? We even let one get into the White House, and he's not a redneck at all, I'm just saying, but he's embodied the ideas of these rednecks, right? So, that's the problem with the conversation. It's not that people are not ready to have a conversation. I believe that the conversation is always a tool to frame black people a certain way. And that's never going to work with a person that's really thinking about the problems that they're seeing in the world. Because you can see these problems amongst all racial groups. Not to say that we don't have a higher proximity or higher rates of these things maybe happening, right? Maybe we're more murderous per capita, or whatever you want to say, whatever your statistics set tells you. But I don't know. I just think that there's a peculiar condition that the black person has to face in this country. Not all black people, but in general, the black people have to face a certain level of living that no other person in America has to live, which could also lend to these type of things happening. Not saying it's the sole cause, but that's just my thoughts in the conversation. I think we need to address the trauma that's in our community more, and the generational trauma, because a lot of us are not traumatized by white people. A lot of us are traumatized by our own family. You know what I'm saying? So those are things that we should be talking about, not what we're not ready to have a conversation about.